Pool fans from around the world, I have big news. We have found Bigfoot just outside of Louisville, Kentucky, here at the 21st annual Derby City Classic. And you're looking at him right now. It is the beautiful diamond 5x10 Bigfoot table and 16 of the greatest players on the planet. And let me ask, Derby City, have you been impressed with the level of play so far in this tournament? It has been amazing. And there's only one more spot to find out who's going to move into the Final Four, and it's time to find out right now. First, it is a 5-time U.S. Open champion, 2-time all-around Derby City champion, and 2-time winner of this very event, the Bigfoot champion. He defeated Roberto Gomez in round 1. His sponsors are Q-Tech and USA Pool League. From Sioux Falls, South Dakota, USA, the South Dakota Kid, Shane Van Boening. His opponent is 2012 World 8-Ball Champion and the 2018 International Open Champion. He defeated Eklund Kachi to get to this spot right here. He's sponsored by Predator, Longassi, and CPBA Cloth. From Taipei, Taiwan, make some noise for Chang Jung Lin. We are lagging for the break. Our official is Mr. Ricky Bryant, and going to send it up to the guys in the booth.
This tournament has had fireworks throughout, and this match is yet another feature bout. SVB versus Chang Jung Lin. Mark Wilson and Billy Incardona on the call. Let's get your thoughts, Billy.
Well, I never thought that anyone could be a favorite over Shane Van Boening, America's finest player. And, you know, I've been watching Shane play now for probably over 10 years. And right now I think he's playing about as well as he's ever played in his life. And now this is the first time I've had the opportunity to watch Chang Jung Lin play. But just by asking around, you know, I found out that, you know, Chang Jung Lin may be the favorite in this match, and it's just, you know, it's mind-boggling to me. How can anyone be a favorite over Shane Van Boening?
Right.
And the consensus say that Jung Lin is the favorite. We're going to find out, though. But you know what? I watched him play a little bit, not much in his last match, and I noticed that he's such an intelligent player. He's got great cue ball speed. He understands the angles. He plays his patterns. He just perfectly. And I can see why people think he's the greatest player on earth.
But this is the battle of the world's number ones right here. It's debatable either way. I'm probably biased. I kind of favor SVB just a hint, but that just might be my hopeful optimism because I've watched Chang play many times. Certainly have complete respect and appreciation. Pretty nice opening break.
And he has a shot on the 1. 3 ball was pocketed on the break, along with, I believe, another ball. The 2 balls positioned near the side pocket. He's pretty straight on the 1. I think he hits the. I think he can pocket the 1, hit the side rail, then down to the short rail with a high ball and end up with a nice shot on the 2 here. Looks like he's going back. Oh, he's forcing it to the side rail and out. Nice cue ball.
I'm still trying to calm down from our last match when Gorst won 11-10 over Jason Shaw, but they had just epic racks in there at the end.
And he looks like he has the angles to drop to the long rail and play the 5 in the side he's shooting over. Let's see what he does.
Top spinning 1 rail out.
And the other side, I kind of like playing in the other side. I think he would have a better cue ball in terms of a nice angle from the 5 to the 6.
Mm-hmm.
And now I think he's a little low on the 5. He may have to do something to take a little more difficult shot on the 6 in the 7th position to where he's playing it in the corner.
Yeah.
That'll put him in perfect line on the 6 then.
I'll tell you, the reason I think he didn't play to the other side pocket was this early jitters type of thing, and he wanted to let his stroke out just a little bit more, because I do think what you said actually plays better, especially if you're in tune. Played a few racks behind you under your belt, but early going, I think he just wanted to make sure he had that shot into the corner.
Makes perfect sense. And you do often make perfect sense. Isn't that
Yeah.
right?
You preserved the ankle, thank you. No sense being gratuitous. I'll let you do commentary with us. I really like his Ultimate Team Gear shirt, too. It's all red, white, and blue. Got Van Boening on the back, and he is America's greatest hope.
Yeah, he's going to be okay.
Oh, beautiful.
Well, that's what you call playing perfect position. You know, a lot of people out there are probably saying, did he hit it hard enough? Did he hit it hard? Well, he hit it perfectly. But, of course, there was always that doubt as the cue ball was coming across the table.
Oh, yeah, if it stops one revolution short, then it's real awkward, but he got there.
Uh-oh, you want to go to the rail and back out. Now, I think that was a pretty bad error there because in that particular shot, the way he chose to play it, you have to make sure that you hit that side rail and get off that side rail. He hit it with a bad stroke, or maybe he even let up on the stroke. I don't know which.
No, it definitely looked like he poked.
He didn't hit that very, very smoothly either.
And that hurt his ball speed here just a little bit.
Exactly. He hit that shot rather thickly, and like Mark said, he hit it thickly, and it slowed up the progress of the cue ball speed. So let's see if he can put this down. It's always, good to win that first game.
56% of the time you go on to win the match. And wobbled it home, but a nice, classy way to start the match. Win the leg, break and run out. Van Boening has 1, Chang 0.
In the last match that we did commentary on, you brought up a point, and I want to expound on that point that you brought up. Whenever you're playing and you shoot a shot and you really don't hit it well, either you misplay the position or you maybe hit a ball sloppily, it goes in. You sort of like dwell on that. And I think that's maybe what happened there. When he played position on that 9 ball, he should have went to the side rail and back out again, but he dogged his stroke a little bit, ended up on the rail, and he should have never done that because that's not a professional way of playing that shot the way he shot it. And may have bothered him a little bit. He almost missed the 9, like he came up short on the 10 because he hit it so roughly. So let's see if he can shake that off and smooth out his game a little bit here. And
truthfully, it takes quite a bit of mental toughness to go through a series of balls where you hit each one of them rough. But each one progressively gets a little more challenging and more, more important too.
So. It's very taxing on you too, because now you start having doubts when you start hitting balls poorly.
Now we get our first look at Chang. Very careful and meticulous type player.
I don't know if he's pocketed a ball.
Oh boy, dry break and great opening here for Van Boening.
But he's going to have to go through some traffic to fall on the 2. And not only that, he's going to have to hit it with good cue ball speed, because if he goes too far, the 7 ball may be a potential interfering ball. So it looks like he's going to have to go 2 cushions, and to go 2 cushions, he's got a lot of balls that's in the path of that route.
That's why he went and looked. He wouldn't mind. It would be okay if he lightly bumps the 3 here. But if he passes the 3, in between the 3 and 4, that's okay too. But getting around the 9 and doing that requires a very accurate hit into this first pocket.
But the 3 ball is your target here. 2 cushions toward the 3, like this. 1, 2, that's too high. See, he's going to hit the 7. But you know what? He got a fortuitous kiss off the 4, end up hitting the 3.
Yeah.
Not the way we envisioned it would happen.
Right.
But nevertheless, hit the 3, and he's got like a okay shot on the 2.
Does the 3 pass the 6 ball? It looks like it may have enough room. It's got a thin cut here.
Not very many available pockets for the 3. I can see 2 for sure that are cut off.
He's queuing up low as if he's going to play the 3 in the side. Nope. Soft speed. Scored the ball, so the 3 clearly goes past the 6 because he would not shoot that way if it didn't. So he's got ample room. Shane, too, is an athlete, as you can see, just from his physique. He's very focused. And one of the things that I really like about Shane is his personal character. for as great of a pool player as he is, he's even a better person, a better human being. And that's incredible because I think the world of him as a pool player.
Well, that's saying an awful lot. If he's a better human being than he is a pool player.
That's what I meant.
Because he's obviously the United States' best pool player.
I'm saying that this might be the battle of the world number ones here. It could be. It's subjective right now, but nevertheless, you're right in the right zone.
It's a little tricky here. I think he's got a little awkward on the 5 here. He may have to draw to the side rail and back out as he plays his 6 in the side. Only 1-2 cushions. Okay, that's pretty good speed right there. I kind of like coming cross table. That way you don't have to deal with the 8. You know, I just like that a little bit better here. But if you have good cue ball speed and a good touch, then you can play the 6 in the lower left-hand corner. But I like coming to cross table. Let's see what he does. This way, see, you're dealing with the 8 here. But
he was comfortable. He was comfortable there, yeah.
No problem.
No.
And that's why he's a champion.
Well, and now the rest of the rack lays even easier because it was less travel on the cue ball, and he's got a great chance here to get the right angle. But yeah, easy transfer to the 9.
This is rack number 2, Van Boening. Looks like he should win rack number 2, providing any unforeseen errors here taking place. Let's see. I like what he's done there, drawing to the rail and off the rail. A lot of players that aren't really upper echelon or even upper echelon players, they may end up on the rail. But if you draw to the rail and off the rail again, if you have that type of understanding of how to play shape, then you'll never find yourself on the rail. Whoa, a little bit thinly he hit that.
Once again, he falls just a little rough, but certainly well within his range.
Similar shot on the 10 that he had in game 1. He's got to reach a little further here. Sometimes when you reach, you lose a little accuracy. In the center of the pocket.
Gorgeous. Rack 2 goes to Van Boening, who leads the match 2-0. Both players playing 1,000 at this juncture. Early stages. Chang broke dry. Shane broke and ran out. Chang broke dry. Shane ran out. That's where we're at if you're just joining us.
Now on the TPA, the total performance average, when Chang broke the balls, if he doesn't make a ball on a break,
no error.
Is that
no? It's all kosher. No error. Yep.
A kosher.
Oh, sorry.
Kosher. Okay.
That's cool. That's cool. Trying to refrain from crutch words as best I can.
Okay.
Cue ball gets batted around. Ball went down.
The cue ball hit the point of the side pocket and end up on the other side of the table. It has the one ball obviously on the foot rail, on the foot end of the table. Excuse me, on the head string part of the table. Head end of the table, I should say. Cue ball on the foot end of the table. Not often you see that, but it does occur occasionally. And now Van Boning's taking a look at it now.
These guys hate to push out, and it's not an easy place to push out from.
Well, I think that whoever pushes out here, the other player is going to take. I think if Van Boening pushes out here, Chang's going to take the shot. So Van Boening doesn't want to push. He wants to play some sort of a safety here because he doesn't want Chang to play a good safety on him. And that wasn't a good safety. He hit that roughly, very poorly, I should say. You have to hit that thinly so you get good movement with the cue ball. You hit it too thick.
Yeah. Well, we get our first real good look at JL Chang.
You know, he should go around the table here, around the 7-6 ball. Let's take a look at his speed. Not bad, but certainly not perfect. It looks like he can go around the 3 here. If he can end up straight in on the 3, that's what he's looking at now, then he'll stop for position for the 4 on the side, and that's probably what he wants to do. Let's see if he can attain the angle on the 3 to stop and play the 4 on the side. Nope.
Oh, that's nice. That way he doesn't have to deal with that side pocket, which is a little bit treacherous. He can come 2 rails out.
If he had a natural angle to go underneath the 3, I believe he would have played it that way. But it looked like the angle that he had was natural for him to do what he did.
Right.
And so in that type of a situation, you always play the natural way, which was the way he played it.
He's overrun the mark here, Billy.
Yes, he did. And speed control is one of his fortes. That's one of his strengths of his game, playing excellent speed. At least that's what I was told by someone who does understand the way this man plays.
Well, good decision making, and this is what happens with him. I would describe him as none of his skills are number 1 in the world of pro pool, but all of his skills are above average. He is number 1 in mental intensity and focus, however. And what he does is quiet like an anaconda.
I don't agree with what you're saying.
Okay, well, anyway,
let me explain it.
Yes.
You're saying all of his skills are above average.
Yes.
I think you were a little stingy with that.
Oh.
All of his skills are way above average.
Okay. But number one is his focus. There's no one that can focus
okay.
Chang.
I'll agree with that.
And it's quiet like an anaconda because he sneaks up on you. He just quietly runs out, stays in line. You don't see spectacular shot making. And then he gets 1 coil around you, and then pretty soon he's got another coil around you, and then you try to wiggle free, and he tightens it up. And then pretty soon you're struggling. And that would be my description of watching him play. And I've broadcast a number of his matches. Could not be more impressed.
But he's above average.
Well above average.
Okay.
Meanwhile, he's quietly getting a coil around this rack. Beautiful. Very compact swing, too. Do you notice he does not have much movement in there? And it's a very simple swing.
And that translates to better accuracy. When you have that compound swing, you're hitting that cue ball, just much more pure consistently because you don't have to take that long stroke. And sometimes when you take that long stroke, you hit that point of the cue ball that you're intending to hit. And in turn, you're sometimes put a little more English on the cue ball than you anticipate doing.
On the 9-foot table, he will routinely play about 930. That'll be his average. Not saying it's invincible, but you don't have to put up a super solid performance in this day and age to beat him. Right?
Well, you wouldn't think so when you're playing a player that plays a little above average.
Oh, you give me a break.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
I just got to let you have it for a while.
He won last night. He played
an
an 883 on this table, which is, that translates to another 30 points higher on a 9-foot table. So and that was his first match on this table.
So that's the formula, 30%.
Yeah, it's opinion based. It's not factual, but it's close because I will certainly broadcast a lot of these matches.
If you shoot a 950 here, that means that 30% of 950 is, it's 990 something.
Well, no, I'm saying about 30 points, not percent. So, nice square break. Cue ball gets kissed back down
I don't
table.
think he's pocketed anything.
You're right. Boy, all that ball action, I thought something dropped for sure.
Going from the 1 to the 2 is a problem here. I mean,
Major.
the angle that he has on the 1 suggests to me that it's hard for him to draw under the 5 and go 2 cushion because there's the 8. There's too many balls right there that he has to deal with. With a little inside English, he could go, maybe to maybe a diamond past the side pocket, maybe. And I think that's what he's going to have to do. And this is going to be a very difficult shot here. He's going to have to put a little inside on here.
Yeah, and high ball. No, he's powering
he's
up.
Going low. Now that 8 ball's a big ball here, Mark.
He's trying to clip the edge of the 6 and come down table.
That was very difficult for him to do.
Yeah, no.
He's fortunate he's come up with a shot on the 2 where he can hit it.
Yeah, he didn't get the ultimate punishment on that shot.
He could possibly try to cut this in because the 4 is laying pretty good. If he happens to cut this in, I think he's going to end up with shape on the 4. Very, very low percentage shot, but it's a big reward. And since his safety isn't really guaranteed here, I think him cutting this in may be his best shot. He's looking to bank the 2 at the other end of the table, try to put the cue ball behind the 4 with a little bit of a high ball. Or he's going to stun it.
Might be trying to drag into the 5 here.
But he's got to hit it with good speed. See, he's going to put him. See, he tried to put the cue ball on the 4. Well, a very, very lucky roll there. The 2 ball hit the point of the side pocket and ends up behind the 9.
Chang, he comes to the table like he's just come out of a closet. He doesn't know how the ball's got here. It's unaffected. He's just going to play the best stroke that this shot takes, whatever he does.
He's got a great attitude, isn't he?
Yeah, that's his strength, that mental toughness.
So he totally understands that no one's ever promised him a rose garden.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I mean,
hey, listen, he's probably very accustomed to dealing with adversity, and so therefore when it does happen to appear, he's so totally prepared to deal with it.
Okay, that 2 ball leaked up in front of the side, so 2 shots here that Shane is not pleased with the outcome. He's going to get a safety error on that. The word is that in the country that he's from, Republic of China, Taipei, none of the other top players will play him for money anymore.
Anymore.
I mean, does that not say it all right there?
Yeah. And there are quite a few
top players.
Top players who play a lot above average.
Yeah. This is what makes him so tough. When you look at this arm swing and watch how smooth his transition is, boop, it stays still after he hits the ball. Just there's not many things that he allows to go wrong.
And notice the cue ball speed. When he drew the ball over, and, in a high percentage of the time, when you draw a shot like that, you're going to end up hitting the side rail or another rail. He has that perfect speed control, which is such a big thing to have.
These are people that treat it like the sport, and this is his lifestyle. It's not like he practiced up to get good. He lives it every day. When he wakes up, he doesn't wonder what he's going to do today. He knows he's going to play pool.
If a cue ball was like a tire on a car, I don't think he would need any retread or new tires for a long time.
Very conservative. He drives like I gamble, now that I think about it.
Perfectly executed shot. Now all he has to do is pocket and stop. Boop. like that.
Yep.
You're going to see that quite often when he's at the table.
Not one time in that run out was he ever even a little hint out of line or off angle. I mean, it's just, and quietly the anaconda slips another coil around his victim.
Now, whenever you're playing such an intelligent, educated player like Chang is, after the balls are broken, he'll survey the layout. He'll know the angles that he needs to be on, most likely, as he looks at the table, and he'll play for that. I remember years ago when I was in my late 20s, when I was playing really well. After I broke the balls, I would look at the table, and I would just envision myself going through the entire rack,
Yeah.
And then whenever I shot my first shot, I would know exactly what angle to play for,
Yeah.
and that would lead to the other angle and the other angle.
Right.
It's amazing, how sophisticated you can start thinking when you're that.
Look at that good break.
When you're that educated on how to play the rack.
That's back in the day when it was 9-ball Billy rather than 1-pocket Billy.
Yeah.
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 Happy days. Right?
I played some
Great
pool
times.
today.
Did you?
Yeah.
Good.
No, I didn't, but I did.
Yeah. Gotcha.
You know what I mean?
Yes, I do.
I should have said I attempted to play some pool today.
Ah, good for you. It will never get out of your blood at this juncture. Shane's going to have to be a shot maker here. This will be a long transfer. I don't know.
You almost have to slow roll this and play the shape of the 4 on the side, because if you go around the table, I don't know. I mean,
I think he's going to dig down low and go 2 cushions in between the 9 and 6.
maybe around the table, a long
Maybe,
way.
yeah, maybe the long way. Yeah,
Because he's a little
uncertain.
thinner on the 2 to try to go between the. The natural way is to go around the table, and I think he may be better off just lagging it in. But you really don't want to lag it in because you lose a little accuracy when you do that. Around the table he's going.
Boy, what a great shot that was.
Yeah.
Good call, Billy.
See, that was more natural.
Mm-hmm.
So therefore, by going 2 cushions short in between the 6 and the 9, you want to hit the 2-ball thickly because you want to get that draw to take effect.
Listen to this. One of our best fans has just texted in that your broadcasting is slightly above average.
No. Yeah.
So you're doing good, Billy.
Thank you.
Good decision and good execution by Shane there to recover a slightly errant position play. Uh-oh. Oh, he didn't want to rub that. Oh, he may still have the shot, but
Yeah, he has a shot, but
it doesn't help your confidence any when you bang into a ball that you completely meant to omit from the line of travel.
Chang must be really intimidating Van Boening a little bit here.
I think it's the 5x10, being that he's trying to be careful and not miss balls because it's easy. That little extra bit, it's 30% more difficult, no doubt. Well, it's cost him now.
Well, Chang is such an intimidating player, not because he's spectacular, because he's so consistently good.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I mean, very rarely gets out of line.
Yeah.
And plays the game the way it's actually supposed to be played.
Right.
If you were a machine, you would play it like Chang, you know? That's intimidating.
He's got the capacity to concentrate like a Himalayan monk. That's just the way you feel when you watch him play over an extended period. He gets so focused and so keen. Is he going to get there? He's still a little off angle. Can make it. And at the International Open, his last 6 matches were all above 900 except for one bad match where he played at like an 889. I was like, you got to be kidding. Every match, just like a machine.
Yeah, he wanted to go cross table and play the 10 in the other pocket. And the reason he liked doing that is because if you want to just try to lag it in and cut the the 9 on the side, sometimes the table rolls off a little bit, and sometimes you don't hit it as accurately as you should because you're rolling it. But if you pick up your speed and hitting it with the speed to go across table, you pick up on your accuracy. He thought that was a fair trade-off. Obviously, he was right. And now he wins game number 5.
A high-quality pool on display here. 3-2 Van Boening in front. Everybody listening in, either way you bet, you got a great bet. That's all I can tell you. Either way, you got a good horse.
Yeah. Yeah, this is one of those matches where we feel that it's going to be very close the entire way. And at the end, we're going to see, either an 11-10 or 11-9 score. I don't think it's going to be more than a 2-game difference regardless of who wins this match. I think it's going to be a real nail-biter the entire way.
I've been looking forward to these matches all day long, and yesterday's matches are great, and I knew today's looked like they might even be better. This match, of course, is worth $4,000 plus a chance to move on. $16,000 will go to the winner tomorrow night. $8,000 to second place. $4,000 third and fourth.
Well, up to this point, it looks like to me that Chang is the more relaxed player. Even though he trails by 1 game, but he doesn't break the balls as well as Van Boening. He's not getting the action that Van Boening is getting. So therefore, he's got to overcome that too.
He hit them very square. The jump back and stopped right in the center, and everything had a chance to go in. Nothing did go in. Just like Billy's saying, for whatever reason, Van Boening gets more ball action. Perhaps that he practices the break more, but in any event, you're right.
Tricky angle here on the 1. He's going to have a real good cue ball to drop for the 2. Nicely executed.
That's a real
very
good cue
nice.
ball.
That's
real
very nice.
Good.
You really couldn't have struck it any better than what he did.
He brought the cue ball so close to the corner pocket, which means you have to hit the heart of the corner pocket with that 1 ball perfectly so that you can judge it that tight. If you're a little crude, if you're just trying to hack it into the pocket, you'll never get that shot to work out very often.
This is a big shot here because all the balls are positioned very conveniently.
Both these players possess very smooth cueing actions.
Now, the 5 to the 6 is the only real somewhat of a challenge he has in front of him. 3 to the 4 and the 4 to the 5 are all kind of like automatic. But when you get to the 5, you have to have an angle to go cross table or straight in and draw straight back. But the cross table angle is always, I think, a little bit better because it gives you more margin for error.
Shane wants the angle on the 5 where the cue ball's at now. He wants to be on that line.
He's a little bit closer, though.
A little bit closer, right. But he wants to see
that's what
measuring.
he's doing now, exactly.
And that's why he played for this, so he can come across 2 cushions and drop into the position zone rather than try to get there with draw or some type of a stroke. He can just use speed control.
All right. It's exactly right. Very well put, by the way. Players of his stature, always play position 2 balls ahead.
Boy, that was well hit.
And I think he's ended up a little bit thin here. He wanted a little more, this is a little thinner angle than he wanted. So I don't know. It's going to be pretty close here. This is going to be a tough challenge for him right here. He's got hit with a nice soft draw here. He's got a powerful stroke. Let's see how well he does.
Overcut it.
Yeah, it was a tough shot. See, when you hit it softly with English, you're going to get a lot of masse there. And that's exactly what he got.
Well,
it wasn't deflection; it was masse. That's why he overcut the ball.
He missed it on the pro side. He didn't hack it into the rail trying to create the angle, which is how amateurs and myself miss it. He hit it like a pro and stood there and just overcut it was all. So.
But the reason he missed that is because he got too thin on it, and it was a stroke that he wasn't comfortable with. Obviously, had he had a more of a straighter angle on the ball, then he would have been very comfortable. he probably would have run out. This is a very difficult shot here.
This will be a pretty shot if
Very
he
difficult
executes.
shot. Look at this shot. Look at this. Oh, come on. Give me a break with this.
Yeah.
I mean, that was absolutely beautiful.
World class. Even Shane nods up and down a little bit. Recognizes that was a great hit.
And that's why this guy here is so intimidating, because he just does things at the table consistently that makes you wonder what the heck you're doing with this guy. I mean, what, you know, I mean, how are you going to beat this kind of play? Well, you know, like I said, Shane's a better breaker. He's a great shot maker. You know, he can string racks. I think that's where he holds over Chang. But as far as his being a technician, from what I've seen so far, this guy here is a true technician. This cue ball, his angles. Now, this is the angle where he'll go between the 9-10, obviously. This is a nice two-rail angle that was sent him near the center diamond that he just walked past.
Yeah.
He would like to end up near the center diamond. He'll go 2 cushions toward that center diamond, giving him a nice angle on the 8 to do whatever he wants or he needs to do to play shape for the 9.
This is where I'm talking about the focus. He goes and checks every angle, takes his time, and then he sets about and he's committed to his shot. He never shoots a shot with any ambiguity. He's committed, then gets right, flows right through the cue ball nicely.
It's nice and short toward the center diamond. Nice angle on the 8. He can do whatever he wants to do with the 8 going to the 9. He'll probably play the 9 in the corner because, you know, he's going to get close enough with this angle to the 9, and playing it in the corner won't really represent any type of a challenge at all for him. Like that. And look at the angle he's ended up with. That's all he needs to do. And once again, pocket and stop. I believe he has that angle where he can stop.
If he's uncomfortable, he can slide too. He can just slide it over. So we'll find out how much, if there is a hint of an angle. But I think Billy's right. I think he's just be able to kill it. No?
Nope, right across.
It did thump the heart of the pocket, though, so there was no doubt in that stroke. Waste no time getting down here. He's going to tie up the match. The Anaconda slips yet another coil in there.
Yeah, and that was a beautifully played rack, by the way. The opening
first shot
was really magnificent.
Yeah, he's capable of making great shots. But then once he makes one great shot, you're never going to see 2 in the rack because he doesn't need to.
I think he's more than capable of making.
No, what I'm saying, he just never has to because he never gets out of line. He hits every ball so pure into the pocket. His speed's right.
Yeah.
He's on angle, on angle, on angle, time after time.
Yeah.
And it's just that consistency. It's not. There's nothing glamorous or dramatic. You watch Jason Shaw, it's fireworks all over the table.
We've often heard players talk among one another about, and even to themselves, when you get out of line, you can't get back in line. It's the opposite with him. When he gets in line, he's always in line. Once he's in line, it's over.
He works that hard. Okay, cue ball got hot. Didn't seem to hurt him too bad.
See, that's that break I was talking about.
Oh, he's going to get a shot.
Difference.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was not as good break because the cue ball went to the side rail, had a little side spin. But
Yeah, and he pocketed 3 balls on the break there.
yeah, and that's not as good break, folks.
He'll probably play the 2 in the same pocket, I would believe. Nope, he went across table. Probably a little thinner of an angle than I thought, which allowed him to do that comfortably. Let's take a look at how the balls are laying. 4, 5, and 7. Yeah, he wants to get fairly straight on the 4. That angle will suffice. Now he has to. Now let me ask you something. You almost have to roll this in?
I don't think you want to go into the 7 here just because it's kind of dangerous to pop it and try to knock that 7 loose. So rolling it in, good call, Billy. Work the cue ball closer.
Yeah. Well, you know what? The reason he played it the way he did is because he picked up on his accuracy and he couldn't afford to miss it. And being that close to the 5, he can go 3 cushions around. He can go twice cross table. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's a lot of different things he can do here. I like him going twice cross table because he's close enough to the 5 to judge this really well. He'll draw it to the diamond below the side pocket.
And then play the 7 into the long
Same
corner.
pocket,
Yeah.
yes.
No, the same pocket. I'm thinking the long corner, so the cue ball's automatically traveling down table. But the speed is far more sensitive at that point, however. There's not much leniency with that.
Now, he might play the 6, the 7 at the other end of the table, too. Well, he went 3 cushions around. Watch the side pocket here.
Good shot. Good shot.
Okay, now he's got a little funny here, unless he can draw it back and end up where the cue ball is now.
This is that little finesse draw with just a hint of right. Just bring it, get it back where it's at right now. That's right. Good shot.
Yeah, that's an excellent shot. He's got such a powerful stroke because he hits that cue ball so accurately.
This will be Van Boning's second break and run out of the match.
Yeah, this alternate break is certainly favoring Chang. There's no question about that, you know? Because when you're playing a guy who has a big break like Van Boening has, that's a big weapon for him to string racks against you. When you play alternate break, he can't do that. So Chang, in that regard, has the benefit, it benefits Chang, for sure.
Well, then Van Boning's a little bit more of that rhythm type player, and Chang's a little bit more methodical and probably plays better out of rhythm. Then that's not his game. He's very content to play just a state.
Even though Chang doesn't open up the balls as well as Van Boening, whenever you play alternate break, you're taking away the break from Van Boening when he wins the game. Okay? And you won't have to face that big barrage, big breakers, put down on you. But like you say also, Van Boening is a rhythm player, and he gets his stroke when he starts breaking the balls, and
the
that's
audience
how
builds
he
up. Yeah,
he can't do that with this type of a format.
Chang breaking, strike number 8.
He's going to have to grind it out. Very well put, by the way. Yeah. You have to be a grinding player, and we're looking at Chang, one of probably one of the top grinders in the world playing this game.
He's grinding at a clip of 1,000 right now.
Yeah,
a perfect match so far.
Okay, pocketed the 9. I think in another ball.
There's
He's got a shot on the 2 on the side. Let's take a look where the 3 is.
The 4.
The 3 and the 4.
4. Yeah.
Now this is going to be a tough out here unless he can he's going to have to play the 4 in the lower left-hand corner. And going from the 4 to the 5, notice where the 5 is. It's on this end of the table. Going from the 4 to the 5 is going to, it's going to be a challenge for him. Because you can see that he can roll this in, and you see what kind of angle he's going to end up with on the 3. He's going to have to go around the table and get on the 4, but, it's going to be difficult for him to get the angle on the 4 to go comfortably to the 5. Let's take a look at this, because this is going to be a very difficult layout. So he's going to play a perfect pattern here to get from the 4 to the 5. This is very difficult. Very, very difficult. If he could draw this ball and go into the 4, I think that's where he might be better off doing. See, you can overdraw this and go into the 4 because it's hard to go around the 4 because you don't have the angle to get to the 5. I like drawing it and going into the 4 here.
He might check this up with Inside English and try to have the cue ball land against the 8 or into the 4, just not the 10. No, he's going low. So now he's relying on speed control being perfect if he's coming around at 2 cushions and playing the 4 in the corner.
He wants to go into the 4 here. You got to hit it. You got to hit it. You got to hit it.
Good call. Good call.
So I think he should have hit it a little harder than that.
But I think it was harder to warp the draw to hit the 4 if he goes a lot harder than that. So maybe a little harder.
See, he may have tried to draw it around the 4, but you had to be perfect with that. Perfect.
The good thing is, he didn't hook himself. He can defend himself from here, and he was aware of that factor, too, that he knew it was going to be a testy circumstance. So just don't miss the 3 ball trying to be too cute.
Now, he may try to put the cue ball under the 5 here. That's an option he has. And in doing that, he could put the 4 ball next to the 10. I don't know what he's going to end up doing here. Let's take a look at it. I'm surprised he didn't try to put the cue ball under the 5 by going to the long rail with the cue ball. But maybe the angle just wasn't there for him to do that. Now, that cue ball is going to be tracking toward that corner pocket where the 5 ball is. Now, that's the side of the 4 ball that he can hit, and there really isn't much more that he can do to try to put that cue ball underneath that 7. You know, and in trying to do that, that cue ball is going to be tracking for that corner pocket. They're very risky shot, but he really doesn't have a choice.
He's going to try to get it underneath the 7. Use that as the 7 and the 6 as blocker balls. Look at how thin he hit that ball.
Yeah, well, that's not going to work out for him.
No. "10 feet away, though, and back cut that ball like that. It's a hard, and there wasn't much that he could do.
This is an interesting shot. Yeah, this is an interesting shot here. And he's going to have to play this short. He's going to have to go to the side rail and take that thin cut on the 5 here.
Yeah, if he could just get the cue ball up by the side pocket, that would probably be about as good as he could hope.
He's going with inside English. He's trying to miss the 8, go straight down.
I don't think so.
Yeah, that's what I like there.
Right.
Yeah, he's going to have
take
to
the side pocket
exactly.
here, cut it in.
Good call there. Yeah, he's in good line here, you know, and considering where he shot from, he's in perfect line. He couldn't have gotten any better than this.
Nobody makes less unforced errors than Chang Jung Lin. Nobody. This is just a game right here. It's just this. That's what I'm saying. It's quiet death. He just pockets these balls, nothing more. Doesn't do anything too fancy. Jason Shaw is a far better shot maker overall because he has to be, because he's always scrambling around. Chang, he can make the shots, but he rarely has to make a hard shot.
Well, let's just say that Eagle Eye, and that's Jason Shaw, we'll just say that the reason why most people feel he's the best shot maker in the world is maybe because he's making a lot of tough shots, you know, and it's like really exciting stuff and he's something to talk about. Wow. Well, we don't have that to talk about with Chang because he's not in that situation often.
Exactly.
But it seems like he does make everything he shoots at.
Right. Yeah.
So he could be the best shot maker in the world. But he
exactly
hasn't proven it yet.
Yeah, Jason Shaw definitely shoots more hard shots in one match than Chang will shoot 3.
Now there's the speed again. Isn't that just something, huh?
Yeah, that's that accurate ball pocketing. If you hit that pocket pure, you can judge. If you don't, if you cobble it in there, then it gets all messed up.
That's so true, because if you strike the object ball where you want to, you're going to get the movement with the cue ball you anticipate getting. And this is exactly how he plays. His performance is just great up to this point. I really enjoy watching him play.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, anyone that's been in it as long as we have is going to really respect and appreciate what's going on here because we understand the little odd angles and all that. But then he hits it great, and it looks like the cue ball naturally went there, but we know he's manipulating it there. The uninitiated onlooker doesn't appreciate that because they haven't played enough to really understand how it has to get there, what has to take place.
And what a valid point that you brought up. If you hit the object ball accurately and you pocket it in the side of the pocket that you intend on pocketing it, you're going to get the speed you anticipate getting with the cue ball. And that's how he's playing. You know, he's hitting the pocket where he wants to hit it, and in turn that translates into a good cue ball. And that's what gives him that great speed, or at least the results that we feel is great speed, because he's hitting the shot like he wants to hit it.
Cue ball got loose again.
Oh, we got that in, you know, that.
It's got that little spin, you know, and you can say, well, that's bad luck. Well, not entirely. He's not hitting the rack the way he wants to at all.
Well, these balls are laying really nicely for Chang. You know, the 2 to the 3 is easy. The 3 to the 4 is right there. The 4 to the 5 is also ideal because after pocketing the 3, he's going to have a nice angle on the 4 to go up table for the 5. And the way he plays position and the way he controls the speed of the cue ball, this rack shouldn't represent any type of problem for him. On this shot, you want to go to the almost to the center of the table. So therefore, after pocketing the 3, you'll cut it to the right like this. You'll cut it to the right and stay in perfect line for the 4 to go 1 cushion. And that's kind of like on the line where he wants the cue ball to be for the 3. That's where he pointed his stick. He wants to draw back about 2.5 feet and end up cutting the 3 to his right, which will send him across table on the perfect line to cut the 4 to his left, go cross table deep for the 5. This is how you play angles playing this game. You don't want to get straight in. I kind of felt that he was a little bit better off having a little more of an angle.
He checked this beforehand, and he feels confident to utilize coming down on the past the 9 ball here, 1 rail.
Oh,
2
yeah,
rails.
that's what he's going to do off the 4, yeah. Okay, now he's going to have to hit this with a little speed to make sure he clears the 9 here. And also, he can't afford to brush the 8. This is like a center ball. He can't go low with it. A center ball with English, I think and he has to cut the 4 thinly enough to stay away from the 8.
Yeah, I think he wants to just drop down off the side cushion behind the 9 and then drop down to the end rail for the 5. He's going
He has to make sure he clears the 9.
I don't think he did.
He makes that, he has to clear the 9. Once again.
Wow.
And I hate to keep saying this, but once again, you know, he's showing us perfect speed.
Yeah. You know how well he's playing. He smiled as if to say, I slightly mishit that. But he still got there,
yeah,
right?
He did, because because it was crucial for him to clear the 9. And he cut the 4 ball thinly enough to stay away from the 8. But it didn't give him that spread that he anticipated to drop lower on the 5 and get away from the 9. So that was a little awkward on the 5.
Yep.
But I think that he can handle this because he's got such great control of the cue ball.
You got that little funny angle here, Billy. He may draw back all the way and come back out. No, he was able to punch it up. That plays way better than dealing with the 9. So.
Yeah, it's a soft draw for the 8 in the corner, I believe, unless I'm reading the angle wrong.
He might have just a hint more angle than we're anticipating.
But he's so close to the object ball. I think he can soft draw this and play the 8 in the upper corner. But maybe not. He may have to go 2 cushions then. He mishit this. Well,
it's gorgeous.
Yeah, that was tough.
Yeah.
That was tough.
I chipped it up in front of the side, so that gives him. He might go 2 rails around the 9 here and just cut that in.
I look for him to draw this. Oh, he's going to play on the side?
Yeah, just because if you stay on that rail over there, then this 9 gets a little tougher. This way, 2 rails around, and then
exactly.
Yeah, now he gets his bridge hand down.
Yeah. Yeah, center of the
That's
table.
all he worried about.
Yeah. Yeah. It looks like he's ended up a little funny with this angle. He can play it a number of different ways. He can go with inside English, or he can go with the middle, a center ball, left English, and send him by the other side pocket.
I think he's just going to follow, come down, just play speed, get on the same side of the table that he's on now. No, he stayed on that side.
Yeah, that was
50-yard line.
It was a funny angle. And
Agreed.
And the results of that shot is indicating to me that it was a funny angle.
Right.
You know, because normally he would be much better on the 10 than what he ended up. But let's see if he has that shot-making accuracy that the Eagle has.
This is the extent of his. This is the extent of his hard shots right here.
Yeah.
That was his hard shot for the rack. That's how simple his patterns are. Oh boy, playing 977. He's leading the match 5 games to 4. Shane, while he creates some offense from his break, that time his break cost him a game.
Yeah.
Yeah, there probably won't be a lot of guys running up to Chang Jung Lin after this match to see if he want to play a set later tonight.
Well, you asked me before the match started if I ever had if I had the chance to really watch him play, and my answer to that was, well, I watched him play, but I really didn't see a lot of his play. You know, I watched him play a few racks here, you know, and he looks like, you know, he's a real good player. But now that I've had more of an opportunity to watch him play,
yeah,
you know, to really take a real good look at his game and how he goes about things in taking a look at his strengths and weaknesses, or I should say, taking a look at his strengths. I'm really impressed with his game, and it's going to be hard for me to make anybody a favorite over this guy.
You're right.
You know,
right.
Yeah.
And
Really.
this is what we've witnessed in the past. This is his game.
You know, and before I even saw anybody from Taipei play, all I knew was Philippines and Europeans and Americans.
And that was the case.
And when I heard of these Taipan players being the best players in the world, I'm saying to myself, Marculo, Pagulayan, Reyes, Van Boening, I don't know about that.
Right.
But I'm starting to get educated.
Yeah. They treat it like a sport. They train like athletes. It's every day, and it's a paying job over there. So, if you want to make $40,000 a year, you can be a pro pool player and come to school every day and work hard. If you don't, that's okay. There's a line a mile long, and you can make $12 a day working in the rice paddy. So,
Wow.
maybe you should try to apply yourself to pool.
So this is like their football or basketball or baseball
Exactly.
to get out of the ghetto.
Yeah. No, exactly.
You know?
100%. That's what it is. It's a sport they can dominate. There's guys there that put money into it just because there's not that many sports they can, but this is one they for sure can. And they were scientific about their approach.
Well, the 4 to the 5 is the key to this rack, and it's not going to be easy for him to drop on the 5, considering that the 6 ball is positioned where it is. So therefore, he's going to have to play accurate position.
Yeah.
On the 5 off the 4.
Yeah. Well stated.
And he's got himself a nice angle to go to the rail straight up the table.
Right. And this is enough angle that he doesn't have to worry too much about getting behind the 6 ball.
No, he doesn't have to go back toward the 6 ball. He's going to go straight up the table and stay away from the 6 ball, because the 5 ball shouldn't present much of a challenge for him. He's got to hit it with a little bit better speed. He wants to stay away from the 6, which he's done, and that's pretty good. He's close enough to the 5 to see the edge of the ball quite clearly. And since the 6 ball is positioned right near the side pocket, all he needs to do is pocket the 5. And, of course, he understood that prior to shooting the 4.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Look for him to just go straight across the table, 2 cushions, and then just bounce out about to the middle of the table here. That gives him enough pace that the 5 will hold the rail pretty nicely.
Yes, it does. And that's what he did.
Yep. Now he can cheat the pocket here and just draw, I think. I don't think he has to go to rails here.
Yeah, if he has to go to rails, then he's going to have to do some traveling. But he would really fare better if he did exactly what you said. Now, he mishit that a little bit, but he's on the angle to go around the 8.
Yeah, that's not hideously bad. You know, that's perfect position for me, not for him.
You know, but of course, one of the reasons why he may have hit that a little bit too hard is because he wanted that draw to take effect.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because he had to cheat the pocket. And even cheating the pocket, there was no guarantee that he was going to get the correct angle on the 7, unless he cheated the pocket hit with a good stroke.
Right.
And that's what he did. And what looked like an error really wasn't.
No, it's so conservative and so simple, which does not mean it's easy to do. But I'm just saying, you can see it's beautiful. He plays his patterns. They go in the pockets. He forecasts them to go in. He's not playing the other pockets after the. We see a lot of other players scramble around, change the plan midway through. Not with Jung Lin. I almost think it'd be fun to just make him set a dollar bill each time out there where the cue ball's going to be and see how close on average. I will bet you, I will bet you that his margin of error would be much tighter than everybody else's.
Well, why don't we do that with the telestrator?
Yeah, exactly. But I'm saying for what he's thinking, yeah. That would be me and you.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, nice breaking run out there. This is a dangerous man right here.
Yeah. The telestrator is the tool that we have up here that we can diagram the path of the ball or whatever problematic areas are on the table. We can put a circle around them, and you can see that on the screen. But we can also put little circles on the screen and say, well, this is where the cue ball should end up on this line. If we were to do that when he's running out, providing that we play as good on the telestrator as he does on the table,
which we don't,
which is not likely.
We're slightly above average, but not like him.
We could probably do that, and then people out there can appreciate a little bit more how well he plays.
All right. Yeah, Shane took something off the break.
He
Still
sure
got that
did.
side spin on there, though. That's
He sure did.
uncommon.
I don't know if he put down anything.
Right. No, that took away from the ball action, that the energy devoted to the side spin on the cue ball. Yeah.
And this match is starting to get away from Van Boening. It's 6-4 Chang. Chang at the table.
With all the momentum right now.
If the 3 passes to 5 into the corner pocket, he's pretty straight on the 2. He's a little awkward on the 2. He's going to have to do something special here.
Yeah.
I don't know how he's going to handle it. I don't know what type of an angle he has. He could play it for the 3 in the side, but that's really pounding it in with the center ball and going across the table, a little below center.
Here he's got to make a really good shot, and this is the first time he's really been exposed. Everything else has been so much in line that it hasn't required the super spin and speed control too.
Okay, now he's taking a look at the 3 pass to 5. This is a really difficult shot to negotiate, really.
Yeah.
He wants to come back for the 3 in the side. I think that's probably the best route for him to take here. But he's going to do that. He's going to have to really pound it.
A much more difficult circumstance than would meet the casual onlooker.
Like that. They really had to pound it to get back for the 3.
Shot.
And as well as he hit it, and as hard as he hit it, he just made it. Now he's got to do a little extra traveling here.
Yep.
What do you think he's going to do here? Just straight draw here? He might just have to straight draw this and go to the end rail and go back up like this there. See? You go to that rail, straight draw it, and come back up toward the 4. And end up about to the left where the 3 is now. But you can't overdraw this. You run into the 7, the 6. So this is a pretty tough stroke here.
Yeah, he's digging down pretty deep on this ball, so what he's got in mind? Oh, no.
Oh,
yeah.
see, something. He mishit that. He knows it.
Yeah.
He knows he mishit that.
He was so low, I almost felt like it was going to dig in there like that. I thought he would cue it a little bit higher.
Yeah, he got too low on that because you had a straight draw to the end rail and back up toward the 4. He went around the 6, which was unintended, but nevertheless, he's there.
This is where the mental fortitude comes in because he knows he completely mishit the last ball.
Okay.
And now he's off angle, and now he's got a long shot. But he digs himself out of these spots.
Tough shot here.
Heart of the pocket, drains it. And now he's back in line.
Not totally. Not totally here. He's not totally in line here. He would have liked to have ended up straighter on the 5 that he ended up. But now he's got to do a little traveling with the cue ball, and there's 2 interfering balls here on this side of the table.
Mm-hmm.
So therefore, he has to be pretty exact here. Pretty big challenge for anyone. Let's see how well he does here.
Does he attack the 8 ball? Does he try to stay in between? What's he doing here? He's attacking
That's exactly
the 8
what
ball.
he does. Look, beautiful cue ball once again.
Yeah.
That's perfectly positioned there.
That's a super tough shot. And once again, you better hit the pocket clean if you want that result.
Exactly. You know, whenever you're working in close quarters and you have a fairly difficult shot, you have to hit the pocket where you intend on hitting it because there's no margin for error in terms of the speed and direction with the cue ball.
Yeah, you see how he made that look easy, but he had the stun follow. That was not the effective follow, and it's far harder to control. And if you're playing pool every day, all day long, you can hit shots like that pretty regularly. If you're not, it will tell.
And I hate to bring up another point and distract what we're watching out here, but I see a lot of these players playing with these Revo shafts or these
composite or carbon fiber.
Yeah, and they're such great players. It just has to lead me to believe that's the way to go.
Yep.
You know, this is the way to go. We're talking about the best players in the world here, and it just seems like all of them are converting.
I have to tell you, for the first time ever, I do think technology's finally caught up. A lot of times people said this is the next greatest shaft and everything. I never bought in, and I tried some of the others, didn't have much. I got some good results with this carbon fiber.
And for anyone who's listening to this out there, it'll probably be in your best interest to try out one of these shafts, because if the best players in the world, and particularly these young guys who are 18, 19 years old, all of them have these composite shafts. And the results they're getting because they're such great players at such an early age, I mean, there has to be something more to it.
Right.
You know, maybe this shaft is the answer.
Normally what happened with the composite shafts was that they diminished power to make them whippy, so you didn't have to squirt. So, yeah, it didn't squirt as much, but you also lost power. This is the opposite. You still maintain the same power, but you diminish the squirt effect.
And if you can get accustomed to the amount of squirt that you're not getting that you normally did get,
which would be hard for me and you.
You know? Because we're older players. We've been playing pool for 50 years with the squirt. You know? But if you can make that transition and truly understand the type of action that you're going to be getting, your game has to go up.
To me, I'm generally skeptical on these things and have tried them probably with a slanted, biased eye at being negative about it. But in this case, I came in with that attitude and said, hey, this is a little bit better. So if it converted me, which I don't even play with one even now because I'm so used to the other, but I'm just saying if I was competing, I would definitely look into it seriously. Q-Tech makes one, Predator makes one, and Mez is making one, and I don't know which one's better, or if they're all good.
And I was going to ask you that question because I really respect your opinion in a lot of things. You know, because I know you do a lot of research and you're quite intelligent, especially when you say he plays a little above average. Anyway,
I'm here. And you said, yes, I chose billiards over. I was going to be a lawyer, but
well, let's not. Go there. Okay, stay in your lane, bro.
Yeah, exactly.
3 ball. Nope. 9 ball. Nope. Where's the 2 ball?
It's along the rail over here, yeah.
Okay, Van Boening does not have a shot on the 1. Does not have a shot on the 1. And playing a safety from where he is not going to be easy at all.
Can he just rub the 1 over to the rail and let the cue ball filter down to the end rail and just leave 3 balls in a line there? Is that any good?
That's an option. Cutting the 1 to his right by thinning it on the left side of the 1. I don't think he's going to get a hook out of it.
No, I don't either. I'm just saying it's
maybe he's better off shooting the 1 in between the rail and the 8 ball.
Yeah, that looks softly. I think that's what he's doing. This takes a good shot. Now he went for the rub.
Played your shot. And I don't. Oh, you got a nice fortuitous kiss on that 4th ball. He put it behind the 10. No, I didn't think that was intentional.
It was forever going to be a tough combination, but yeah.
But he really got the benefit of that kiss, which certainly helped him here. Now let's take a look, because we don't see Chang kick that often, have we? Or do we?
No. And this is one that's a kick that now it's just hit it, but hit it with whatever speed you. He might even power kick this one.
Oh, he's going to get
Yeah.
a little fortuitous here. Now, Van Boening does have a combination here. Now, these combinations aren't automatic. He's going to be shooting over the 7 ball. It's going to diminish the accuracy of the hit somewhat. You know, he's going to stay down on this shot, and he trails by 3 games, and he really can't afford to fall much further behind. So this is a lot of pressure here on this shot.
Bridging over the 7. Clean strike. Boy,
Nice.
What a shot.
Very nicely executed shot. That
What a
shot was
shot.
much more difficult than what it appeared.
Yeah.
And going from the 2 to the 3, he's going to have to go get a cross table angle on the 2 to go cross table for the 3. So therefore, he wants to end up, you know, not in the center of the table, a little further than the center of the table, so he can get a straighter shot on the 2. And then go. What's the angle to go cross table?
Everything's uncomfortable here. You know, no matter how you do about it, there's nothing that you can say, well, this is a little bit better way, or it is just tough.
But this is the key shot right here. He doesn't want to get straight in now. Doesn't want to get straight in. Let's see how well he's done here. This is real tough here because he's got 2 straight. You know, he's going to have to do something really, really, really spectacular here to get onto the 3.
Yeah, great call.
This is something that is going to be very, very difficult, very challenging shot.
He's angling down just a little bit to get a little more bounce here. Look how nice that ball was struck.
That was
Look at
struck
that shot.
so pure. You have no
World class.
idea how well he had to hit that shot to get the results he got.
Oh, I needed that shot of adrenaline. That was world class.
Yes, it was. Because he was just 2 straight on the 2 ball to comfortably get to where he got. So he had to do something special. He did it, and he's really earned this game, providing he gets out.
Pretty nice speed control.
I
Not
don't know about
perfect.
that.
Yeah,
I
not
don't know
perfect.
about
But,
that.
well, he wanted to make sure he got clear of the 8.
That wasn't Chang-like.
No, that was not. Uh-oh.
Wow.
Ooh.
The forgiveness of the pocket aided him with that hit.
Well, the good speed on it, I guess.
Yes, thank you. You're so generous.
Well,
You're such a nice guy. And I do mean that.
yeah. Well, Shane's like a son, so. He
You
is.
don't have to apologize.
I'm just saying, it's hard not to be biased for you.
But you're really gonna call it like you see it, okay? All right.
Yeah. The one thing, these are the 2 of the hardest working guys here, Shane and Chang.
I'm not gonna dispute that.
Yeah. Nobody hits more balls than those 2 guys, other than maybe Dennis. You know.
And that says a lot too, by the way.
Yeah.
You know, when you prepare yourself, preparation is such a big part of success. And when you hit balls as often and as much as these 2 guys, you're going to get the maximum from your game.
All right. The guys from our era would be Varner and Reyes, who hit more balls at the tournament event than Varner and Reyes.
Yeah, Varner was always hitting balls, you know. And I hear some people say, I don't really like to practice. I don't hit balls. You know?
Yeah.
You know, I never bought into that, you know what I mean? Because when I was playing my best, I always hit balls. I always hit balls. You
Well,
got to feel it.
pure laziness.
You got to go to the table with that feel, with that confidence.
Yeah.
You know, you got to bring it with you. And the only way to bring it with you is to pick it up somewhere.
Yeah.
And the only way to pick it up is either playing in competition or hitting that practice table and getting familiar with all the angles and the feel and the speed and just the...
Every guy that says
Again.
that, okay, every guy that says that Okay, here you go. Go ahead and give it to Chang down here then, if that's the way you feel. If you think you can compete, there it is. He'll play
Exactly.
it. They won't even think about it. They'll say that, then they wouldn't even think about playing him.
Anyways, it's 7-5 now. Van Boening now has gotten to within 2 games of the lead.
With a really good out. He had to make a lot of shots.
Excellent,
Yeah,
excellent. So therefore, that should be that should pump him up a little bit here, because he made a real nice out.
If this was a judged affair, that would be worth 2 games, what he just did there. But it's not, so he only gets 1.
But he's going to break him good. I think he's going to go back to more velocity with the break.
Get that side spin off there. Just get the square hit, because that cue ball's been dancing. So he had a little spin yet.
Oh, made the 2, made another ball, The
Look at
10s.
the 10s right up there.
Oh, my God, he made 4 balls on the break. 4 balls and the 2 straight in. The 4 ball was conveniently positioned from the angle he's left himself with on the 2. The 7 nicely cross table position in front of the pocket. 8, 9. This is like an out that I wouldn't mind even trying to execute. You can play this one of 2 ways. You can go straight across table, or you can soft draw it. Okay, he soft drew it. He went
That's
on
a
the
good
other
shot.
side of the side
Yeah,
pocket.
that was not that easy. You got to hit that. Once again, you got to hit the pocket pure to judge that, to hit that close.
And exactly. And what you said again showed up. You have to hit that shot exactly the way you intend to hit it to get the action on the cue ball, the direction on the cue ball that you needed.
Both these guys just playing great.
This is game number 13, 7-5, Chang. For now. And Van Boening says, the excitement of this match was starting to go away, but it's back again.
Right.
It's back again. 7-6.
Nice breaking run out there. That's the 3rd time in this match. SVB.
5 minutes.
Looks like we're going to have a short player timeout.
Chang breaking.
All right, everybody. JL Chang at the table, leading 7-6 and breaking. Both players playing well over 900 pool. Chang, 984. Unprecedented on a 5x10, I might add. Good break.
2 ball. He has a shot on the 1. Take a look where the 3 is. The 3 ball is to the right of the spot. The 6 ball blocks the pocket for the 3 in that corner. He's thin enough on the 1 to go cross table, but he may be too thin to control the speed of the shot.
Yeah, good point.
So he might be even go around the 10 if he has that angle. If the speed of the shot is too fast to go cross table, he could opt to go around the 10 and then end up on the 3 in that fashion. Let's see how well he plays this shot.
The other choice here, too, these guys factor that in is, he's queuing down, so he's going around. But if it does get like that, they sometimes go at the 3 and try to bump it down a little bit and just take, because they know they can defend themselves from there.
He's going around.
I think his speed's off
But
a hair.
he's going around.
No,
but
his speed happens to be perfect.
Oh, my goodness, my goodness, my goodness.
Oh, boy. What a shot that was.
Well, I'd hate to see this guy play in the tournament if I was playing, on the tournament trail. I don't know, Chang here? Well, I don't know if I want to go.
Yeah. Let me look what his TPA was yesterday. 883. Okay. That might be his bad match for this entire tournament, too, by the way, and he played fantastic.
Oh, my goodness. Now, going from the 6 to the 7, he can do this a couple different ways. He can draw back maybe a foot or so and with a high left ball, go around the 10, then toward the 7. He'll always be in line in that fashion. I think that would be a wise way of playing it. Or he can draw it, one cushion in the center. But I think with a high ball, going around the 10,
yeah,
it's just more of a reliable way of playing position for the 7.
Three-railer, yeah.
Yeah, that's more reliable because you're always in line in terms of speed. Because when you draw it, you could draw it too far, and then you're out of line. Going around the 7, the 10 that is probably a more reliable way of playing the shot, like this. See, now you're always in line here.
For anyone watching, the one thing you will not have to be concerned with was, did he make the right shot selection? That so rarely happens that you can almost exclude it as even a possibility. They made the wrong shot.
Right.
I mean, it's so rare.
Yeah.
Reyes was another one that was like that.
We still have 11 p.m. match and you're not yet started on enough tables down.
And what Mark said is so true. If you people any of you people out there are undecided on how to play certain shots to get the ball, the certain balls, watch this guy play. Try to remember how he goes about doing things, you know. And I'm certainly sure it'll improve your game because you'll play shots that you thought may be the right shot, but weren't so totally confident or sure it was.
Yeah.
Now you know it is.
I think with the use of technology today, you could set up the exact same balls on your practice table at home and play them off in the same fashion repetitively to get the feel of what he's doing out here.
Yeah.
And I think it'd be an invaluable tool because I used to have to drive 500 miles and hope that Buddy Hall showed up to play some type of a match somewhere
Yeah.
and then try to remember what I saw. You wouldn't, so it's certainly utilize technology to your advantage if you were serious about the sport.
No, he could be going around the 10 here. I don't know if he has an awkward angle or not. But if he does, he'll go around the 10. No, he went straight across.
Nice pace there.
That's much more reliable as well, provided you had that angle. Because once again, you're never out of line. But if you go around the 10, then you're out of line. Now speed is more crucial playing the shot in that fashion than it was the way he played it. Because if you have the angle that he had, going across table is much the best way to play that shot.
A real solid break and run out there. Doggone, that first shot, though, on the one, the thread of the back around, the back side of that coming around there, I even thought his speed was off. It ended up being perfect. And then he quietly disassembled the rest of the balls.
Van Boening has to play perfect pull to win this match because Chang doesn't look like there's going to be any give up with him because he's going to play as well as he's been playing. And as well as he's been playing, what is he shooting now?
986 is all. That means
986.
one error after 14 games.
That's
He's made
as
one error.
perfect as you can play.
Oh, boy. I've never seen better.
It's 9
Quite
on
a
the
bit of
side.
spin. Yeah.
He's going to have a shot on the 1 and the side.
Okay.
He's got a little off angle to play position for the 2 in the corner where the 3's in front of it. So therefore, he's going to have to either. It's going to be tough here. Maybe he has the angle to drop in between the 2 and the 3.
I would like to see Shane run out here just to keep this thing nip and tuck.
Yeah, he overcut the 2 to get the angle that he needed to get to drop where he needed to be. So therefore, he had to cheat the pocket there, which he did nicely. The challenge right now is to pocket the 2. He's hit it with good pocket speed. You'll have a nice angle on the 3 to do a number of different things to get to the 4. Most importantly, you got to put the ball down. You got to put it down. Oh, okay. Now he can go in between the 5-6, or he can go straight up. I like going in between the 5-6 because I think it'll I think that shot plays a little more comfortable from where he is now.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's more natural to do that. And he's going to end up with a perfect angle, I do believe. No, he didn't, matter of fact. I thought he was going to go a little further across table than he did. Now he looks like, to me, he's a little awkward, Mark.
I think he can draw it back to about where he's at and just accept that cut rather than try to get all the way back and fight with it.
Mm-hmm.
But if he has a hint of an angle towards the long rail, then he may have to do something a little bit different.
That's exactly what he's done, the way you called it. You know, he's played this rack really nicely.
Yeah. The economy of cue ball travel with both of these guys is, the hallmark of consistent high-level pool. Hard work to do. You see amateurs that cue ball be banging off of rails up and down frequently.
Yeah. This is really a tough shot he has right here. He's using the bridge. He's going to have to stay on the inside of the 7 and go straight toward the 4. See where he's putting his Q-tip there?
Yeah.
So to do that, he's going to have to apply left-hand English on the shot with the bridge and stay away from the 7. If he hits the 5 too thickly, he's going to go into the 7.
Also, what makes this is that it's hard to see where your tip is, so you're always, your timing's off because you're 3 or 4 inches from the cue ball when you're used to playing with the tip nearer the cue ball.
Oh, if you obstacle around, now speed becomes a problem. You see, by going straight up toward the 4, speed is never a problem because you're always on line. But you're really reluctant to put that inside English with the bridge. So therefore, you're much more comfortable putting outside English and going around. But if you do that, you got to have perfect speed, and he didn't have it.
He's going to have to make a big shot here. It was either a big shot with the bridge or the big shot here, I guess. This is the alternatives.
And he's going to have to draw this a little bit with a little bit of left-hand English and go around the 8 and 10 here.
He might be. No, you're right.
I think he's got to go around the 8 and 10 here. No, it's not going to be easy. When this shot is missed, it's usually undercut, but he overcut it. See, that's where Chang would have gotten out, because if he would have put the inside English or even the outside English, he would have had the speed necessary to get on to the 6 ball nicely, where Van Boening didn't. I think before he shot that shot, he really should have prepared himself to what he needed to do. I don't think he was really happy with that shot with the bridge. You know what I mean? Because that was a difficult shot.
Good point. Yeah, I think it really does stem back to that bridge shot. He needed to be far more productive with that shot.
Well, he's out of line here. He's going to have a shot for the side, I believe. That's certainly not the way he played it.
That's not a nice shot for the side either.
And that's really surprising because, well, he hit that a little thickly, you know. Had he hit it with a little thinner ball, he would have probably ended up okay. But in that shot, I think that, you know, if you want to really ensure the better position, I think you have to hit it a little harder, because that's the professional side of the 7 to stay on the upside. You had to play perfect to get where he needed to get with the speed that he hit it with, and he didn't hit it accurately enough to get there. Now this is a tough shot here. He's shooting into a small pocket.
Are you sure he's even playing offense? I'm not sure.
I'd have to say that he is, but you know, but to play this shot, he's going to have to use left-hand English, and that's going to be very difficult. But he would like to go around the other way, but that corner pocket is too close. You know, it's going to interfere with his comfortability here. He would like to spin around. He's going to, well, you're right. He played a safety.
I'm telling you, it's the anaconda. He doesn't let you loose. You know, he's not giving up a cheap win. Van Boening banks this in, or he kicks it in, whatever happens. But you are going to earn your opportunities with Chang Jung Lin.
Well, with Chang, the way he was thinking there, I could have pocketed the 7 in the side with inside English. That's a tough shot. And even if I make that shot, I'm going to have to come up with another tough shot or
Right.
the 8.
Right.
You know. So am I better off gambling with 2 tough shots, or am I better off just playing a safety with a possible hook? I think I'll play the safety. And, you know, he did a pretty good job. Let's see how well it works out for him.
What a nice hit that was. Look at that. Wow. So smooth.
Yeah, well, Van Boning's going to have to be spectacular to overcome this lead.
Mm-hmm.
You know, to surmount this lead, you know, because Chang's going to make it tough for him, which he did. Van Boning was spectacular. So let's see how well he does going forward here. He should get this rack.
Gorgeous.
Very nicely executed. Very
Right.
nicely done. Okay, 8-7, yeah. It's
We're getting our money's worth. You know, truthfully, and this is how I feel, so it's just opinion-based. Why is every American top player not down here watching this match? Can you tell me one reason? No.
well, how many
No.
American players are there right now?
Well,
I mean,
what my point is that if you
I
want to
mean-
learn to play world-class pool, here it is. It doesn't get any better. But if your ego's in the way and you already think you're there, so be it. But then none of them would play Chang.
well, you think that's a lack of respect?
No, I think it's ego. I think they already know it all.
Well, maybe. Well, isn't that synonymous with
Oh,
a lack of respect?
Yeah, then in that regard, yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't need to
Yeah.
watch him play. I mean,
Exactly.
you know.
Exactly.
8-7.
Wouldn't want to learn anything more here that would make me more effective in my craft.
8-7. As well as Chang has played this match, he's only winning by 1 game.
No, exactly.
You know.
Yeah, he's playing 970. What is it? 961.
Now, if I was playing Chang and he was shooting 970 or 961 against me, you know what the score would be?
9-2. I do.
You think I would get 2 games?
Same as me. Yeah, yeah. We're not that bad. It would be decisive, that's for sure. You'd have to be Shane Van
He's going to
Boening.
get the 1 ball.
Oh.
He's going to get the 1 ball.
No. Did something go? Yeah, the 6 ball or the 7 ball. 7 ball's gone. Okay. Now does he? Wow, this is a tough shot here because it's hard to kick. It's hard to masse.
I think he can masse it.
Yeah. I mean, well, I'm not. Yeah, I'm not saying he can't, but just saying.
But that 1 ball
it's
was
deep.
deep in that
Yeah,
pocket. So
deep.
therefore, even if he does hit it with a fairly good masse stroke, there's no guarantee he's going to pocket the 1. Because
Right.
if it was a little further out of the pocket, then you have a much bigger target. But yeah, I don't think he has that.
And massing it, you can even follow it in too. You really catch it pure.
Here we go. Take a look at this. Nice. How about that, huh?
Wow.
Just beautifully executed. Now he's got himself a pretty difficult shot on the 2 to
Right.
back cut it into that side.
Yeah,
And even then, controlling the cue ball is going to be a big problem here.
he dug himself out of a pretty big hole though, because he can still defend himself here. He can play it safe if Shane wants to make another long rail bank if he doesn't quite get it or something, but just not giving up a cheap turn. I don't think he wants to fan this into the side, does he? No. Yeah, he's too smart of a player for that. No cheap turns.
Well, that's all you needed to do.
Look at that.
What do you mean
Yeah.
that's all you needed to do? That's all you needed to do. It appeared quite simple. What do you mean it was simple? No, I said it appeared simple. Oh,
Yeah.
I got you.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, it's so beautiful. So beautiful. I was telling somebody earlier today that to play like this, it's not like you practiced up and got good. It's your lifestyle to play like this, Billy.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
Yeah, you got to live it every day.
absolutely.
Every molecule you got, your body's got to be dedicated to pool if that's how you want to perform. This is like learning to play guitar at a high level or a piano or something. It's an art form.
Yeah, it's kind of like a guy that has a lot of money. that money didn't jump in his pocket.
Oh, good point.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Money just don't jump in your pocket. You got to earn it.
I've tried. I'm telling you, I'm living proof. It
I ain't
doesn't
got
jump
no
in
money
there.
tree.
Yeah. Look at there's Fedor Gorst. He's down here going to school for sure.
Well, and he's a student of the game, I would
Yes,
imagine.
he is. Yeah. That's what I admire so much. I love that kid.
Excellent hit. Oh,
Okay. Well, the
he's left
3
him
and the
an angle.
5. Yeah.
Yeah, he may have a billiard on that 5. I don't know if it's possible. You know, I think it is possible. He may have a billiard. I don't know. It doesn't look like on the monitor here. It doesn't appear that he has a billiard. But of course, sometimes the monitor is deceiving.
Yeah. Exactly. The one thing you can rest assured of is that it will not go uninspected.
Yeah.
I guarantee you, he's going to analyze and he's going to do a risk-reward analysis on every ball. Look at that speed.
If he has a billiard, I think he's in reasonable line. I think he should have come over a little further than that. But maybe he's going to play a hook behind the 7 or the 6 here. I think that's what he's going to end up doing. He's going to play a hook behind the 6.
Okay.
I didn't really like the way he did that because he put the 3 too close to the pocket.
But look at where the 6 got.
Yeah,
He's
but do you think he can kick here? Yeah.
I don't think he can kick one rail.
Oh, well, if he can't kick one rail, then he's got a problem.
I think that was
But if he can kick one rail, the 3 ball is positioned near enough to the pocket and also in the big ball position, meaning that the 3s are like less than a quarter inch off the rail, meaning that the target now becomes much larger.
Boy, this is just... I think he has to use side spin at the very minimum. Well, no, he's queuing up as if he can just kick one rail. We'll be able to tell when it hits the rail if it has side spin. Yeah, it has side spin.
No, he's going to end up... No, he's going to leave him a shot. Yeah, he's going to leave him a shot here. Okay, let's take a look where the 4 is.
Down by the
If
10.
he can go rail first here, that's probably how he'll play the shot. I don't know if he can go rail first.
Right.
By going rail first, he'll get a much better action with his cue ball. But if the 6 ball precludes him from going rail first, then he's going to have to do something different here by forcing it one cushion.
You can see he's aimed up rail first, so he's got enough room.
He might be forcing it one cushion here. No, he played rail first.
Mm-hmm.
No, he didn't really hit that real well. Now this is a very difficult shot because now speed becomes crucial because of the position of the 6.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you can follow the 5, but if you go too deep on the 5, if you go on the other side of the 5, you're going away from your position on the 6. So therefore, speed now becomes very crucial here. In the shot itself is difficult. So therefore, big task in front of him here.
This is so typical of him. He comes down, he looks at it from both sides. And this is where that intense focus, the developed intense focus. Even the shot when he played safe and Shane made that great bank to win the game before this, right? Okay. You still can't say it's wrong. He forced Shane to come with a great shot and didn't give him a cheap win. Now, Shane did execute, but he made him earn it.
Let's get an overhead here, okay? Okay. This is what he's confronted with here. He's going to have to pocket the 4, go 1 cushion, 2 cushions, and then he's going to have to come over here and end up in this area right here for the 6, for the 5, because the 6 is here. If he ends up over here, that's no good.
Can he go to the end rail too, with top spin arc around and come down and up? Because that might make the shot play easier than trying to stun it to the corner.
He could possibly go that route too. And that's what he tried to do. What kind of English did he put on that ball there?
That was kind of
Inside.
a center. No, he had, but it was more of just straight top. He didn't introduce much spin. He landed pretty heavily into the 5 ball, and now he's got the wrong angle to traverse around the table.
But let's analyze that shot a little bit.
Okay.
Why did he shoot it in the fashion that he did as opposed to going 2 cushions short? Maybe that just gave him a better chance of coming up with a shot on the 5 that would lead him to the 6 next.
I don't think that was the case. I think he felt more confident pocketing the ball with that freer.
That too, yeah, is a good point. Now he's going to have an excellent cue ball here. Maybe 2 cushions back up to where the cue ball is now. Oh,
Okay.
my. Oh,
He
my.
hit it way heavy. The ball barely went in the pocket. He almost missed it. And he did get a little quick on his transition.
But what did he try to do with the cue ball? I don't understand.
He was trying to go to the side cushion in between the 9 and 10, 3 cushions around.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I think inside English, 2 cushions up.
Yeah. Well,
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He didn't have the angle to go around. You know, he didn't have the angle to go around. He had to go with inside English to straighten up off that second cushion to come back up.
when he hit it heavy into the pocket, that's what got the side pocket in play. If he hits the pocket clean, he's trying to go here, down.
Oh, was he trying to go?
Yeah, 3 rails around.
I thought he was trying to go here, and then back up. And all of a sudden, this match may be tied up.
Right. He saw a rare hiccup there, and he flinched his body. He got a little quick. He did not like that shot. He shot that. That's the first time that we've seen him in this particular match make a little bit of a mistake.
Is there a chance that we can get a picture of Chang in his chair just one time? Let me take a look at him. He had his hand on his chin. You know, he had his hand on his chin like Reyes, when he made a mistake, he would scratch his head.
Mm-hmm.
But Chang had his hand on his chin, scratching his chin like.
8-8.
Yeah, there he is now. I mean, he seemed to be, like he was a little upset with what he did. And I don't know.
Yeah, well, he
You
knows Van Boening, super dangerous man.
He just scratched his head.
Yeah.
Like Reyes,
Yeah.
Anyways, back in action there. It's 8-8, fellas. Or ladies and gentlemen, I should say.
Yeah. 9:52 he's down to now. Van Boening hovering right at 900, 899.
That's good to keep the camera on Chang right now because it tells a lot about a player, how well he handles things, how he deals with it. If he get back in focus here. Wipes that away. Right. Okay. Back to the match. Here we go. 8-8. Van Boening at the table. He will be breaking the balls at 10-10 if he gets to that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, good point. Winning that leg does mean something at this level. Much better break. I don't know if he's going to make a ball, but just
4 ball.
Much better break.
4 ball, and that ball's opened up. He has a shot on the 1. Now the 2 ball is positioned to the right of that corner pocket where the 5 is.
Yeah.
And the angle that he has on the 1, I don't know. It looks like a real bad angle.
Yeah.
Looks like the angle that he has with a high ball will send him toward the 7. The 6, I believe.
Yeah, and the high side, the wrong side of the 6 on top of it.
He's got a bad angle on the 1. He's going to have to come up with a real good shot on the 1. I don't know. Is he going to force it to the side? I don't know what he's going to do here.
This is warp drive, arc it out around the 6.
I don't even know if it's possible to get on the 2.
Yeah, he's measuring it up like he wants to arc it with topspin out around.
Yeah, exactly. Let's get an overhead here. Okay? Thank you. He wants to shoot it in here and go to here and then go like that there.
No, on the inside, but I don't think it's there. But
no?
I'm just saying. He won. Oh, he did. On the inside, yeah.
And he hit it perfect. Oh, my. He hit that shot so good.
So pure.
And now he walks away from the table knowing that he just got robbed.
Right. Well, that's all he could do. He had to hit it that hard with that effective topspin to get it to arc out around to come down. But
he's in his chair now. He knows he got robbed there because, trust me, he got robbed. He hit that shot as well as you could hit it, and the cue ball found the pocket. And so the ill-fated Van Boening sits in his chair, only to watch Chang at the table.
Right, but I love the execution of the shot. That was just delightful.
Exactly. Beautifully executed shot, exactly the way you called it, Mark. I thought he had more of an angle on the shot where he couldn't go on the other side of the 1. Now, you can go two ways here. You can go straight up table, or you can draw around here. So let's see what he does. So you can go either way here.
Yeah, it looks like he's thinking about stunning it straight down, like you called. No, 2 cushions.
Okay, well, he had a
It was
better
easier,
angle
yeah,
then.
yeah.
And that's certainly the better way of playing it. By going around table, then you're dealing with the 9, too, because if you overdraw it, you end up possibly in back of the 9. So therefore, you can take away that possibility obviously by doing what he did. I thought he would play the 6 and the side, but he didn't. Now he has to get good on the 7 because where the 8 is, the ideal spot for. Let's get an overhead.
These guys are working hard, boy. Here. Slow. Oh, well. There.
Okay, the ideal spot for him to get on the 8 would be anywhere here. Anywhere here. Like here, here. That would be the ideal spot.
Yeah.
Right
Anything
there.
on that side
You know
of
what I
the
mean?
line, really, but yes. He can even play it in the side pocket if he feels like he can get to even the long 8. No. Uh-oh. Not exactly where he wanted to be.
I don't know what he has here. Now, if he has the angle, if he follows it, he go toward the 10, he's going to have to draw it. So therefore, I look for him to draw it back to the side rail and cross table. And he's got an awkward angle on the 7 to do that. Very challenging shot coming up right here.
This is one of these that if you hit the wrong part of the pocket, you can draw the cue ball clear down there past, by the 9 or something. Or you can come up way short and still make the ball. Oh, great shot. That was
Very
a stun
nicely
draw.
executed. Very nicely executed. You really can't get too low on the cue ball to shoot that shot.
Exactly.
Because if you do, you're going to do exactly what Mark said. You may end up getting too close or behind the 9. So therefore, you don't really draw with a real low draw. Go with about a 3/4 down below axis, center axis, to get that type of action.
Yeah, perfectly stated. You couldn't go effective draw, which is extreme. You had to go the stun, where you had just not quite as much backspin. Then you got to use the power to create the angle.
And he's really kind of like straight on the 8, so he's going to have to take a back cut on the 9. But most importantly, pocket the 8. Because he knows he can't get off that rail. Just pocket the 8 and take that back cut. Now, speed now becomes very important here because this is a pretty severe cut on the 9. So therefore, when you cut a ball thinly, the cue ball picks up speed. So therefore, speed becomes very, very crucial right now, the correct speed.
He's requesting the cue ball to be clean just because he might want to take a moment to mentally prepare himself for the shot. But secondly, he also doesn't want to have a skid.
Let's get an overhead here because he can play this a couple different ways here. See, here's where the cue ball is. He could back cut and go 1 cushion, 2 cushions, here and here maybe, and go this way. I don't know. I mean, that's possible because going 2 cushions this way, he's going to have perfect speed.
Yeah.
And, depending on the angle that he has, that's not going to be easy. I know he really doesn't want to do that. I know he wants to hit it with a little more speed to ensure the accuracy of the shot. So, therefore, let's see how he handles this.
If he does drop onto the 4th rail off the end rail, he's willing to accept not getting an ideal shot of the 10 just to prevent missing the 9. He does not, at all costs, don't miss the 9 ball.
So he's going for the side then.
Great
that speed
call.
wasn't. See, this angle that he had, the speed wasn't conducive to play for the corner. So he went 4 cushions, or 1, 2, 3, 4 cushions, and played for the side. Where he ended up, he intended to end up basically in that area. Naturally a little closer to the 10. Then now he has a shot on the 10 on the side, but it's very missable.
And he's slightly elevated by the absolute spot-on analysis by Billy Incardona there about what he had to do with that shot. You even diagrammed it.
Very missable. All of a sudden, Van Boening steps to the table with a chance to go ahead in the match. I don't know. Oh, he was ahead 2-0, and then
Shane's
I
missing his
believe
chalk, I think. It's weird. Huh.
I think he was even ahead 3-2, but I think that was the last time he was ahead. But now he has a chance to go ahead once again, deep into the match at 9-8.
Boy, this is some high-quality stuff. (9-8), Van Boening in front.
And let's take a look at the TPA by both players, Mark. How do they read exactly?
935 Chang, 891 Van Boening.
Even though Van Boening is trailing by 40, 30, or 40 points in the TPA, he's ahead by a game. And what do you attribute that to?
The TPA is factored by this: the ball's pocketed versus your mistakes. So Van Boening's made more errors.
I know, but why is he ahead?
Well, I mean, here he made one ball and won a game. You know, so that's why I'm saying over a long haul it will make a difference.
So therefore, the errors that Chang made were crucial errors. I mean, they were very damaging errors.
Yep. Yeah, and in the short run, even, you don't have to tell me what the TPA is. Just tell me the total balls pocketed, and then at the end of this match, there'll be 72-69. 72 wins almost every time. Yes. Okay. 82 balls pocketed for Van Boening, 86 for Chang.
Rack number 18.
6 errors for Chang, 10 errors for Van Boening.
But yet Van Boening is ahead by a game. So the errors made by Chang were grave errors.
Right.
I mean, they were in
Right.
really untimely times.
Right. That
Okay,
being
9,
said, it's
5
such
on
a
the side.
high-quality match, you don't even remember. I saw him miss the 10. I can't
Well,
think
he's
of
going to have
another
an
error.
opportunity here to get one of those games back.
Yeah.
Okay, and the score is 9-8 Van Boening. But if he's able to get out here, the 2-3 is the big deal right here. And you can see the 3 snuggled against the rail behind the 6 ball. He's going to have to play very accurate position on the 2 to get to the 3. This is where he's going to have to play very accurately here. And I don't know. I don't know. This is going to be tough. It's going to be tough. And you can do it 2 ways. You can go toward the 6 with the cue ball, you know.
Yeah.
And I think he's gone across table too far. I don't know if he has.
At this juncture now, it's how thick or thin it hits the pocket, too. Makes a great deal of bearing. The worst thing that can happen is if he happens to go between the 3 and the 6, gets on the wrong side of the 6 to block himself.
No, he can go long on the shot. That'll give him a better chance of ending up with a shot on the 3.
I see. Yeah.
Or he can go 2 cushions into the 6 here, or go toward the 6.
Look at that shot. Look at that shot.
Well, I think he's fallen a little short here.
Definitely has, but what a great attempt.
Another quarter rotation on the cue ball, he would have gotten there. But I don't think he got there.
Looked like it was clawing its way right in there. And Billy's definitely right. I can just feel it from here that he's not right on that ball to cut it.
You know, and to shoot this thin cut on the 3 ball, he's you know,
you're going to foul.
He could foul very easily by doing that because, you know, I mean, the cue ball is going to come off that side rail with speed quickly.
This is an interesting shot. He might put that 3 all the way down by the 4 and bring the cue ball 3 or 4 cushions to
I like
the
to put the cue ball in back of the 7 here. He has to try to get it in back of the 7. I thought he was going to try to get it in back of the 7. See how it's going that way?
Wow.
In back of the 7?
Yeah.
I thought that.
Well, he introduced the 10.
But to do that, maybe he would have lost control of the speed of the 3 ball. I don't know, you know.
Yeah. But clearly he got the 3 ball in the right place.
Yeah, he did pretty good with that shot.
Yeah, Shane's looking at a 2-rail kick here. This is ugly to have to play because it's a kick to nothing.
Exactly.
You can lose, but you can't win. Oh, he tagged it nice and square.
Well, he let them a shot. But the 7 ball looks like it might be in the way here.
Yeah, genuine problem.
If the 7's in the way, You might even be better out trying to play a safety here.
Yeah.
By crossing the 3 back pile down by the 4.
Mm-hmm.
And if you can drop that cue ball underneath the 7, it doesn't look like there's a good chance of doing that, but there's a chance of doing that. But if he has that angle, I think that's what he should try to do.
The emphasis has to be on getting the 3 down by the 4. You can't leave that hanging out.
He's going to try to draw around the 7 here and go toward the 6, or between the 6 and the 4.
I just feel like he's going to hit the 7 for sure. No.
Oh, between the 6 and the 4. Look at that shot. Wow, what a shot. What a shot. You have no idea the difficulty in that shot and how perfectly he had to hit it. Wow, what a shot. That was a real pool shot.
Man, he had to bend that cue ball with power, which means you had to hit, probably less than a millimeter margin of error on the cue ball to hit it that pure. Power and accuracy combined to make that happen.
And now he's got a little more of an angle than he wanted here, because the cue ball is going to go toward the 8 here, it looks like. Kind of looks like that. I'm not sure, but it looks like it may be going toward the 8, but that's okay, as long as he doesn't get over the 8. No, he was straighter than I thought.
Just as pure as it could be.
He's ended up pretty straight on the 7. I mean, do you go back and play the 8 at the other end, or do you go forward 2 cushions and play the 8 underneath him now?
He cut the pocket very thin. He hit the high side of the pocket to create that angle with the extreme spin. That's super accuracy when you put that much side spin on there. And then with good speed, too. Look at the speed that he had on that thing.
Yeah, he's not going away. There's no question about that. No, he's not going away.
This is a real pool out here. This is another one of those games that should be worth 2.
He's not going away. 9-9.
Oh, what a match. I see Hal Johns out there in the arena. Hal Johns, cool guy. You know Hal? No, you do not.
Well, point him out to me. Let's get the camera on him.
Oh, well, I don't know if I can even dictate where to get him. But anyway, he's down there wearing his blue sweater, got his higher part pushed
What
to the
row
side.
is he in?
He's in the this lane, the row behind the VIP seats.
Oh, he's in the front row?
Not the front row, not the VIP, but the front row of the cheap seats then.
That's what I'm saying, the front row behind the VIP seats.
Okay, that's what I'm saying.
And he's got a blue with the name tag on?
No, he's see the guy wearing the jersey. He's pointing, he's waving at you with the headset. Go down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th guy down from him.
Next to Dennis?
Well, I don't know Dennis. So, perhaps. But anyway, he's a cool guy. Hal.
Hal.
He's from Ohio.
I don't know how the cue ball...
His family member got kissed down.
Yeah,
His family member was a technician for the Beatles.
Really?
Yeah, what a cool thing.
Hal?
Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah, I know. Hey. Yeah. This is Hal Johns, and his name was Glenn Johns. And he told me about that, and then I was reading the Beatles book, and dang, if it wasn't in there, too. Glenn Johns.
Cool.
Yeah. He was the sound technician on the rooftop concert for the Beatles, for anyone that's a historian of the Beatles. You will know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. 9-9. Let's get back to this match.
Yeah,
but
amen.
anyways,
Amen.
Good deal, Hal.
So, a nice break here. Got kissed all the way to the opposite end of the table. Now he's confronted.
That's good, though, because it's 9-9, and the suspense even thickens.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It's getting better.
Here's a rare push out.
Getting better here.
This is one of those circumstances. It's kind of an interesting thing. You hate to take it on yourself because it's iffy.
But what would you do?
But
what would
if
you
you're
do?
forced to play it, it's easier to play the shot, Yeah. So it's hard to make yourself.
I think he's going to shoot it.
Yeah, I think he's going to do something.
Because he carries good position.
Right. And he
And it's also a possible hook if you don't make it.
Well, he might even be playing safe here.
I wouldn't play safe here if I was as good as him. Unless I played as good as him. I apologize.
Well, look at it. He didn't give up a shot, though. Yeah, he's saddened by this.
He gave him a shot. He gave him a shot.
That's what I'm saying. But He just didn't want Shane to play a good shot there, so he took it on himself.
Yeah, well, you don't play cue ball here, by the way. And for anyone that's interested out there, whenever you have a shot that carries the difficulty of this shot, and there's all kind of interfering balls in the way, or in the path, you don't play position here. You play ball.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, good point. Get single-minded.
You know, cross your fingers, shoot this shot because you need to pocket the ball.
Right.
So put 100% concentration, focus on pocketing the ball, and whatever happens, happens. That's it.
Valuable tip right there. Look at Shane now. He's going away from what we're saying. You got to be a super high-powered player to jack up and try to spear this in this way. Oh, he's going to scratch.
Yes, he did. He scratched. He scratched.
He tried to take that. He was trying to play position with that and
But-
went away from what you said.
But you know what? Let's take a look at it the way it really is, okay? Let's say he went with a high ball. He's going to go toward the 8 or the 5, but in the 2's right out in the middle of the table. There's only 6 balls on the table.
Right.
And there's only 6 balls on the table, and for him to pocket the 1 and not get a shot on the 2 was unlikely. He wasn't going to get hooked.
Right.
You know what I
right.
mean?
And that's the main point. He wasn't going to get hooked. He could do something
And
after
he wasn't
that.
going to scratch like that either.
No. Scratching that's the death knell here.
Yeah, it wasn't. This was such a big game. This puts the winner of this game on the hill at 10-9. And that's such a big game. And if
Right.
Chang happens to win this game, he's going to be breaking for the match. See, sometimes you really can't try to play perfect. You know what I mean? You have to go away from that if it calls for it. I think that was one of those rare times, and I emphasize that word rare.
Yeah.
I think it was one of those rare times when you had to go away from playing perfect pool.
Right. Yeah, the situation just didn't dictate that shot.
And I'm actually not trying to play results because I made that call prior to him shooting, you know. So sometimes you just got to go ahead and cross your fingers, but you have to make sure you pocket the ball. And like Mark said, but him putting a low ball, you know, you're putting a lot of deflection on there, going with low on the cue ball. You have hit that cue ball perfect.
Yeah, and when the backspin hits the rail, it comes off his topspin, and how you hit the pocket, it's really hard to judge.
Yeah, you know, it's so hard to judge that you're better. You're better off ensuring the accuracy of the shot and just going ahead and cross your fingers because the 2 was positioned ideally to come up with a shot in a lot of areas on the table.
At this point, though, we are cutting a pretty fine hair. He did pocket the ball. He did think he was going to come out of it better than that, but it got away from him is all.
I'm not saying that he deserved to scratch.
Yeah.
He didn't deserve to scratch. He made a nice shot, and he put a good stroke on it to get away from those 2 interfering balls.
Yeah. It's just that the scratch is in play when you play it that way.
Yeah. You know, but maybe possibly he didn't really factor that in. If he would have factored that in, he may have made another decision. I don't know. Maybe he did factor it in and said, I can stay away from it. But if I were he, which I'm definitely not that type of a player, you know, that caliber, I would have just cinched the ball, crossed my fingers. Meantime, Chang's at the table looking to take the lead 10-9.
And breaking, I might add.
So the lead for Van Boening was short-lived.
What a
And
match
now
we
he's
have.
falling behind.
10-9. Well, high-quality pool. Look at standing room only, too. Big crowds. Last night we had a bigger crowd.
This is still very, very, very interesting because it isn't like the break on this table is so In other words, it's so, what's the correct word? Important. I mean, it's an advantage, but not as big as an advantage as it is on a 4.5 by 9 where the balls fly in, because you don't have to make a ball on the break on a 5 by 10. So therefore, even though Van Boening is trailing by 2 games, Chang's breaking the balls on the hill. There's no guarantee he's going to make a ball and get shape, and then get out.
Chang has broken ran out twice in this match. Van Boening 3 times.
Yeah, there you go. So therefore, he's broken the balls. Chang he's broken the balls 10 times, right? Or 9 times.
Yeah. No, this will be his 10th.
Okay, and he's only run out 3 times, right? 3 times.
Yep.
So
2.
Or 2 times. So therefore, he's only run out 20% of the time.
Only
20% of the time.
Only. That's pretty darn good.
Yeah. So Van Boening figured to get back to the table.
Right.
In
80%.
this rack, okay? So if he gets back to the table, I think he's going to get out. And then he'll be breaking.
And he's broken right out 3 times.
So that's a little more. But in the meantime, Chang's at the table breaking the balls, and he has the advantage. And he's probably a good, probably 2-1 favorite to win the match. Let's see how well he does with the break first.
You can see he's never careless on any of these shots, including the break.
5. Another ball went in.
Look how square he hit those.
But I don't know. He's got a bank on the one. He can't cut it in, and he's got a type of a bank that he's going to have to hit it very accurately, and he's going to have to play shape. What's the next ball? The 5?
Yeah. Yep.
I don't know. I don't know what he can do with his cue ball with his bank because he really can't. He can't really control the cue ball to try to get shape on the 5 that easily.
I think it's kind of what you said before. I think it's all out to make the ball if he's going to play the bank, and then if you get position on the 5, just defend yourself from being hooked.
Yeah. He really can't cheat the pocket with this bank to try to control the cue ball. I don't think the angle's there for him to do that. This is the second time he's got up off the shot, indicating that, hey, I can't cheat the pocket here. I really would like to get the cue ball, draw down that rail. But if I do that, I might overcut the bank. Okay, if I do that, then I'm going to probably lose this game. So maybe I'm better off just cinching the bank and taking a long shot on the 5. Or maybe I'm better off just playing a safety. What am I better off doing?
It is that funny angle. I don't know if he's got it. Might be almost borderline double kiss. Oh, gorgeous shot.
Well, he hit the shot great.
What a shot.
He hit the shot great. That was great. He must have had a little better angle than what we thought.
Yeah.
Because if he had that certain angle that we were thinking that he may have had, he couldn't have drew the cue ball down that rail like that.
No,
Because to do that, you run the risk of double kissing the shot.
Yeah. And they're banking them straight in and betting the game on it, 5 by 10. I mean, it's just beautiful to watch.
I think he's got to go around the 8 and 10 here.
Oh, no, he's just following ahead.
Yeah.
Just coming out.
Oh, he can go to the inside of the 9?
Yeah. Off the 9, I guess.
I don't know if that was real good.
Well, definitely not.
He's going to have to draw this cross table, I think. What do you think?
Yeah, because if he goes top, it's unless he goes super soft and plays the 7 for the side.
Yeah, I think he's got to draw this and go cross table and play the 7 for the side. He can try to go around it, but I think the angle is going to send him toward the 7. He's going to have to bump the 7 if he follows it. I think by drawing it, I think he's got better control of the cue ball here.
He just checked his angle into the side, too, so that indicates that's what he's thinking.
Yeah, look at that. Is that beautiful, Mark?
It is.
Come on.
You and I know how hard that is.
That's a nice thing to watch. I mean, really nicely executed once again.
Oh, this guy's tough.
Oh,
He's tough.
Very, very difficult to beat.
Now he's falling pretty straight here, so it's not quite as nice as you want it to be.
Yeah, but we'll follow it follow it 10 inches, get off the rail, and get a shot in the 8. The 9's right there.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
You know.
This is just how hard he works, though. He doesn't take anything for
Yeah,
granted. He
that's good.
just-
Very well put. Yeah, that's exactly right. That perfect.
Well, this
That
is
way.
the last big shot.
This is the shot right here. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What's going through his mind right now, Mark? If you were he, what's going through his mind
I
right
think
now?
he's just getting his energy up, because he look at see how he backs off, and you'll see a couple eye shifts. And I wish it could come up where he was making a straight back bank so I could show you what he does on that, because it's most amusing. I described it earlier today, and the intensity he brings. Oh,
He moved a little bit on that shot. Did you see him?
yeah, he knows.
He moved. That was
at
a
that,
big
he's just
shot.
one stroking.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
He's lugging it now. But before he shot that 8, that wasn't an easy shot, and he knew it. But he put it down.
Well, terrific match. The Anaconda moves on. What a match. Well, we really got our money's worth, and I enjoyed that just immensely. Didn't you, Billy?
Yeah, that was.
Yeah.
That was some great play, man. Some really fantastic play. I tell
High
you
level.
what. I mean, phew.
Okay, that's our time for this time. Drive safely. We'll see you tomorrow. So long.